Hey guys, my Tampa show is sold out this Sunday. Thank you guys so much. If you're on that side of Florida, grab tickets to see me. I'll be home. Good night. Who am I, Fetterman? If you're on that side of Florida, grab tickets to see me Saturday in Fort Myers, where I'll still be doing comedy because there's a few tickets available at Snappers. I've also added a weekend in St. Louis, and we'll announce that date later on in today's show. Now let's get on with the motherfucker. Hi, how are you? Good to be with you. How you doing, boy? Squeal like a pig for me.
Still nothing,
Huh?
Still nothing,
Yeah, I sat in the chair yesterday, and the guy's like, it's probably going to keep happening. I felt like saying, why didn't you say that before you fucked with it 3 months ago, you motherless tit fucker, you? Actually, a good guy. Anyhow, so I got a choice. It's like you can get a bridge, and I'm like, no, that's old school. When you get a bridge, they have to fuck up a perfectly good tooth next to it, right? Huh?
No.
What do you mean no?
I'd never do that.
Oh yeah, no. I thought you meant no. That's not how it works. I'm like, when did you get your degree? Yeah, so that I can't even believe that's an option. And then there's implant, which is where they go in there and pull it, whatever's left in there out. You know, whatever the fuck. Thank God you're not unconscious, but you're numbed up. And they put like a screw in there, which to me is going to get rusty. I blow a lot of men on the street in the rain. Anyhow, yeah, they're gonna put a screw in there, and they have to let the bone grow around it for a few months before. It's just a pain. And the other thing is a flipper, they call it, which every hockey player you know or I know, you know how they have every other tooth knocked out. It's a thing that goes right up under your, yeah. It's got the teeth on it, yeah. Which I'm like, do people use that permanently? He's like, well, it's not ideal. In, you know, some situation, you're going to pop it out to eat. I said, I'm not dating. Who gives a fuck? I remember my Uncle Bob had a bridge because, like, every other tooth down here was missing. And he was drunk at a cookout we had, and he passed out, and his teeth popped out. Fucking whole family, we were staring at him in tears. Fucking sits up there still hanging. Good old Uncle Bob. Anyhow, yeah, so probably going to go the implant route. Or if this thing isn't that uncomfortable, I'm going to have it, by the way, for Florida, folks, I think. So if I'm up there talking like John Fetterman.
Fit right in.
Yeah, I'll fit right in. Exactly. Hey, Hoop. 4th of July, Okie Bar, San Francisco. Shut him and pull me up. All right, let's get on with it. Red Wave, my mother's box. Can I preface this show, folks, by saying what I've been saying all along? I don't mean to be too cynical, and probably what I'm about to say is going to make the rest of the show meaningless, but I don't know that I'm ever voting again. I kept telling you people, if even 2 races are close, it's a fucking fix. I really believe that. When else could you ever have an easier choice as voters? I don't care what party, I should say, you know, with what Biden and the Democrats have done to this country in the last 2 years, there shouldn't have been one close race. Never mind Republicans losing anywhere. I really believe there's 10 guys in a room, you know who I'm talking about, World Economic Forum, Council on Foreign Relations, whoever the fuck you want to blame, who have decided this country is going to be brought to its knees, and it's time for China to take. I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm being way over cynical, you can say. I don't give a shit. You're going to tell me John Fetterman actually won in Pennsylvania? You can't. I hate Democrats so much, but I can't even say they're that stupid that they'd vote for that fucking stroke victim. It's unfathomable. And here's my other thing. Well, what about Stacey Abrams and Kemp? This is how it's done. They got a whole script. The Dems, or whoever, the left-leaning 5 guys or 10 guys that run the world, globalists, what we got to do is, we got to make it look a little even. We'll get rid of who's hurting our cause. Well, that fucking Stacey Abrams, she's like fucking dead weight. Who else is hurting our cause? Beto O'Rourke, he's fucking useless. We'll let those 2 go. And you're probably going, you're crazy, Nick, conspiracy. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Like I said, it should have been a tsunami. And
happens in Russia all the time.
What's that?
Happens in Russia all the time.
Yes, it does. And it's now happening here. At least Russia. It's very easy in Russia. You're like, I better fucking. You get caught. You get caught on camera not voting for Putin. You'll be waking up in a crematorium. Anyways, the Fetterman thing, Pennsylvania. They talk about New York State being corrupt. How about Pennsylvania? Again, they changed a bunch of laws, and it's fucking and neck out in Arizona. We'll wait. There's still a chance. It's like tied for the Senate right now. It's like 48-48 or whatever. Then you got Herschel Walker and fucking who I can't take any more commercials. I told you, if there's gonna be a runoff now, oh God help. It's just, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. It wasn't a disaster for the Republicans. They won the fucking House. And they still might win the Senate, but I doubt it with all the fixation, I call it, that's going on. Anyhow, I'm just giving you my little pre-take on, so whatever I say next is, probably, think of it comes with a preface, it's all bullshit. It's all scripted. I can't. Of course you couldn't have, we knew Desantis. That was so obvious to whoever's fixing everything's like, we got to let we can't. That's that'll be too obvious. But the rest of it, the Fetterman thing's killing me. Dr. Oz, what does he feel like today? Literally, you want us to believe he lost to a guy whose opening line debate was, "Hi, good night, everybody." Really? Are you Dems aren't even that jaded, are you? Are you really that fucking rotten to the core? I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. Oh my fucking God. I just, whatever. It's a big bag job. Somebody's hell-bent on this country being socialist or fucking globalist. That's where the world's headed. That's all I'm going to say. My wife had to drag me kicking and screaming to the voting booth yesterday. Which, by the way, I went because it was 80 degrees out. It's a fucking 8-minute walk down the street to a nice church. It's fucking great. And I do this every year. This is what I do to scare the ladies at the desk. It's always ladies, like middle-aged ladies. So my wife's in front of me. She gets her license, hands it, they check your name off. And as my wife's walking in the booth, I go, "Hey, do what I told you to do in there." Of course, the older black lady laughs her balls off. And a white lady next to her did. But the next 2 were like this. You can only make so many do what I told you. And then, of course, me and her wrote in my name for a couple of write-ins that we didn't give a fuck. All right, let's get on with this stupid thing. Let's pretend it's anyways, I got to drive 6.5 hours on Friday. I don't know, folks. Might be it. I know I say that. Huh? I got to find another way. Is fentanyl that dangerous to sell? All right, let's get on. What's the first thing? Let's go over the obvious ones, the big ones that are important nonetheless. Ron DeSantis shifts Dade County from blue to red. Dade County, historically blue. Blue with the mouth balls. Pause, I gotta have a drink. No, don't pause. I'm just saying. That was a malarkey. Yes, have a sip of timing, stupid. Ronnie DeSantis, he wasn't going to let us down. Really is
He was the best guy around.
That's right, and he showed it last night, did he not? Turning Dade County red. My old great late buddy, Greg Zook, who spent years in Dade County in Miami, would have loved to. We could have chatted. I would have had him come on the show because he knows the districts in the Miami-Dade County in South Florida. had a change of heart Tuesday and went red as voters supported Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, who is projected to be the first GOP governor to win the county, that county, Dade County, in 20 years. The county's shift from blue to red was part of a predicted successful evening by the GOP in an effort to take back full control of Congress. The Fox News decision desk projected Senator Paolo. First of all, I don't know where you got that picture. This must be from 15 years ago. He is not that fucking handsome. Look, that's a great picture. I would vote for him like that. So would a lot of broads. He looks like Michael Corleone waving to Sonny as he heads off to the causeway to be shot to death. Senator Marco Rubio, who in my opinion is going to make a good president someday. I think he checks all the boxes. A little, not quite. He's not rough enough for me. Not far right, but you know. Republican will defeat Democrat Val Demings. Oh, thank God, he was a threat. Who the fuck is Val Demings? Val Demings. In 2002, Florida Governor Jeb Bush became the last to date Republican gubernatorial candidate to win the heavily populated and diverse Miami-Dade County in South Florida. Jeb, what?
Who the fuck are you? Are you writing a book? Who the fuck are you?
Exactly. Low energy Jeb. That's what Trump called him. I used to lay on the couch when he called Jeb low energy. I go, well, I'm right with him on that one. Sorry, Mr. President. There's DeSantis with his piece of ass of wife. Huh? Mother of God. I'd hang myself in her hair. I'd do that. What do you call that when you jerk off and choking yourself? Asphyxiation. I'd do like the guy from In Excess. You'd find me with her hair. You get the point I'm making? I like her. Dressed like a goddamn Oscar trophy. And there's DeSantis giving the old high heel. High heel? Heel. High heel? What do you mean, Heil Hitler?
Take another sip.
Take another sip. Stupid. No, that's not a timing problem. That's just a dumb joke problem. Let's go to Ron DeSantis' victory speech. We got 3 clips here because I think it's worth. Hey, listen, all during COVID and shit, this guy kept. Remember, he was doing the right thing. The rest of the country was going the other way, and he's like, "Bullshit. We're keeping the businesses open and whatnot." He showed leadership. Remember what that was? And he's a military guy. He's got a piece of ass for a wife. What do you want to fucking? You want to look at Jill for another 4 years? Anyways, here's DeSantis clip 1 from his acceptance speech, victory speech.
Thanks to the overwhelming support of the people of Florida, we not only won election, we have rewritten the political map. Thank you
You're welcome.
for honoring us with a win for the ages.
Yes, sir.
Ages 18 through 22. Yummy, yummy. Bum, bum, bum. And then he said this in his victory speech last night.
We have embraced freedom. We have maintained law and order. We have protected the rights of parents. We have respected our taxpayers, and we reject woke ideology.
It's freedom, baby.
We fight the woke in the legislature. We fight the woke in the schools. We fight the woke in the corporations. We will never, ever surrender to the woke mob. Florida is where woke goes to die.
All right.
It's freedom, baby. Yeah.
Goddamn right. And he did. How's everybody going to fit in Florida? I'll get to Hochul in a second, and Newsom being this is why you can't tell me it's not fixed. If you guys are that dumb in New York and LA, you deserve, maybe people like to be raped and knocked out. And I'm starting to think you like it. Anyhow, that's a horrible thing to say. I know, but I'm just saying. It's so rigged, your mother's tits are involved. What? I got no idea what that means. Hers are natural and firm. Listen, in his third cut, he's going to talk about how he ran against the grain when COVID and the country was shutting down. And like I said, he showed true leadership. So let's listen to what he got to say here.
We chose facts over fear. We chose education over indoctrination. We chose law and order over rioting and disorder.
Looky here now.
Florida was a refuge of sanity when the world went mad. We stood as a citadel of freedom for people across this country and indeed across the world.
Let it fly. Preach.
We faced attacks. We took the hits. We weathered the storms. But we stood our ground. We did not back down. We had the conviction to guide us, and we had the courage to lead. We made promises.
All right, that's good. You know, in his head, his little voice is going, I have to say we. It was fucking me. Yeah, but Ron, but what about the Democrats? What do they get?
You get nothing. You lose.
So that was expected, you know. Like I said, it's too obvious to fuck with that one. This is just a few that are too obvious to fuck with. New York's so mental when Hochul went. I mean, this is, you know how many times people like me and the 4 Republicans that live in New York have gone through going, what? Another Democrat? I don't know. It's really, it's, I don't know what to say, folks. I'll say this. Let me roast your buddy. We'll say happy birthday to your mom through Cameo. She can come right to the house like she did last weekend. She likes Black Label beer. Anyways, Cameo, you know what it is. You go to Cameo, they got a link right there. That's not a link, it just says Cameo. What is he talking about? Go there and you can see some of the cameos I've done. And order one yourself if you're not vomiting after watching a few of those. Or just go to Cameo and search my name, and then you tell me about the person. And then what I do is I get the request from you, and I sit there in my car, or I'm on the toilet, or out front smoking a cigarette, and I call your mother an asshole, your father a dink. It's a lot of fun. All right? Do it today. I need the cash. And the other, I would say, expected victory, although I think this is the biggest victory. J.D. Vance, a terrific candidate. What's it called? Hillbilly? Elegy. Elegy, yeah. Can never remember the word elegy. I have terrible elegies this time of year. I'm allergic to hillbillies. Hillbilly elegy. Good night, everybody. Welcome to the Gong Show. Walk, 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 walk. J.D. Vance wins Ohio, and I'm glad. This guy seems sincere. Again, that's his wife right to the right there. I don't understand that. She's an 80-year-old midget from Tallahassee. He picked her up in a fucking sidecar on his motorcycle. Anyways, he's very, very eloquent, very smart. He's an entrepreneur, an author. I mean, really bright dude. And he beat Rob Portman, I believe, right? Was it Portman? Oh, Ryan. Now I'm getting my things. Oh, he beat Ryan to take Portman's seat. I think that's how I might have. Who gives a fuck? What is this? The CBS Nightly News with lying cocksucker Bill? Let's take a listen to J.D. Vance and his, you don't call it victory speech.
What a night. I love you guys too. Wow.
I love your wife.
Thank you guys. I love you. I love you. Wow. Well, what can you even say after a night like tonight? We've had a good night in the Ohio Republican Party, haven't we? Wow. The first thing.
J.D. Vance will win the Ohio Senate seat against Democrat challenger Tim Ryan, according to ABC. I like Tim Ryan because, like yesterday, he knew it was going to be a bad night or something, and they cut to him and they said, how are you going to get there? And he held up a can of Miller Lite and said, this is, it was sort of, I don't know if he meant it like that, but that made me like him. Challenge, anyways, against Democratic challenger Tim Ryan, according to ABC News projection, Drew Angerer / Getty Images. Vance, a venture capitalist known for authoring the memoir Hillbilly Elegy, was up against, they made a movie out of it too, was up against Democrat Rep. Tim Ryan for retiring That's it. Portman's retiring. They're up for Senator Rob Portman's seat. 538's polling average showed a tight race with Vance pulling ahead. You know what was funny? I put it on yesterday when I got home, like early evening, like 6 o'clock, and it said Vance was down by 19. And sure enough, these guys do know what they... Karl Rove is a freak. This guy knows every district, what kind of people vote. It's creepy. I'm like, what do you do, sneak around? Like in your pajamas at night looking in every house in the country? He knows fucking everything. But they're like, the counties that he's going to do good in hadn't been counted yet. And I'm like, yeah, but is it going to make up 19 points? I put on the TV an hour later, and he's ahead by 1. I don't know, it's very weird. Anyways, with Vance pulling ahead of Bryan slightly in the final days of the campaign, Vance had the backing of former President Trump, who won Ohio by 8 percentage points in 2020. Trump's endorsement was key in Vance getting through a crowded GOP field in the primary. And of course, Trump was saying, he mentions that every chance he gets. But you know who's responsible? DeWine, the governor. He won by a huge margin, kind of pulling him with him, right? My wife had a great question about the Georgia race and how Kemp won by a substantial margin, right? So when you vote, don't most people vote right down the ticket line, right down the line? Don't you? Most people do, right? So how the fuck could Kemp win by that much and Herschel Walker being a runoff? Do you know what I mean? It's a good question. And I looked at my wife and I said, get out of the house. It's a very good question. I'm sure there's an answer to it, but who gives a shit? I don't have a call-in line here. Let's move on. J.D. Vance, here's a little bit of his speech, and another one with a wife. Oh, that's her, the old lady. Is that a guy or a lady? To the right, near the flag. Is that a guy? It looks like Adrian from Rocky. Put a bird cage in front of that guy with a dead parrot in it. All right, go ahead. Let's hear what J.D. had to say.
To the people of Ohio, I want to say something. I know, of course, we won a very good victory, and I'm very proud of it. Because of all of you, we won a great victory. But I want to say everything to whether you voted for me or not, if you're watching on TV, whether you voted for me or not, the thing that I promise to do is go to the United States Senate and fight every single day for the people of Ohio.
We've heard it
Thanks to
before.
you, we get an opportunity to do just that.
I hope you mean fist fight. I really do. Because if you just mean put up a fake front like Jim Jordan and Ted Cruz and all the other schmucks, Mitch McConnell, for the last 30 years, pretending to oppose what the Democrats put out there, I think he's sincere. But they all are until they get to D.C. And then, like, somebody sits him in a room. Again, Bill Hicks has the best line on this ever. He was a conspiracy. He was convinced about the Kennedy assassination being a government fucking... I think I've told you this guy, but it's one of my favorite jokes. He goes, I have this theory that when a guy gets elected president, the next day they bring him into this room, they pull down the shades at the White House, they put on a projector, and it's the Kennedy assassination from an angle nobody's seen before. And then they go, any questions? And the lights come on. Great bit. Anyhow, JD was... I was happy about this one, but again, it's all premised by, it's all staged. It's a script. I swear to God, Sherwood Schwartz is doing this. The guy from Brady Bunch, very good. I think he's dead now. Anyways, how do I feel about him?
I'm loving it.
Righty then. Hey, guess what? I don't believe this. I'm on tour again. Is this called marketing? Reading the same fucking thing. Make plans to come and see me on the road. What road? Main Street. I'll be laying in the yellow line, naked. Here's where I'll be and when. November 11th. That's this Friday night. Palm Beach Kennel Club. It's a beautiful joint, by the way. West Palm Beach, Florida. November 12th. That's this Saturday night. Snapper's Comedy Club, Fort Myers, Florida. I don't know how the club survived Hurricane Chooch, but it did. November 13th. That will be this Sunday night. It's already sold out. Side Splitters Comedy Club. And let me tell you, that'll be all jaded fucking New Yorkers and Bostonians like it always is. And I'll be doing a live Q&A if you had VIP tickets. January 13th and 14th, Comedy Off Broadway, Lexington, Kentucky. Looking forward to that. February 3rd and 4th, the Grove Comedy Club, Lowell, Arkansas. March 11th and 12th, the Comedy Club of KC. That's Missouri, by the way. And just added, ladies and gentlemen, April 21, the Funny Bone, St. Charles, Missouri, and April 22, the Funny Bone, St. Louis, Missouri. This is great. I'm doing rooms I did 28 years ago. Good for you, Tommy. Yeah, but you're making $8 more. I know. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. You can get tickets to all these shows and my funeral at nickdip.com. Click on the fucking dead button. Jaded much? I can't take it no more. What the fuck, T? Hochul wins again? That malignant cunt. Hochul wins New York, the dumbest state in the union. You know why? Because they love rape, murder, and violence. That's my conclusion. New York Governor Kathy Hochul, okay, supposedly won, although Lee Zeldin, the guy, the Republican, who had all the momentum going into last night, he hasn't conceded yet, unless he did since I've been on the air, because he had a ton of votes waiting from where he's most popular, in Long Island, where he lives. So he wasn't conceding yet, but it's New York. It doesn't matter if Jesus Christ is running against a Democrat. Well, what are you saying? Jesus was Republican? Well, yeah, sure. Sure. I know he was a carpenter in a union, but that doesn't make... Anyways, this is how I feel about it, Miss Hochul.
Well, I don't want to break up the meeting or nothing, but she's something of a cunt, ain't she, Doc?
How do you mean that?
She likes a rigged game, you know what I mean?
Find the more appropriate sound drop, and I'll blow you during the Q&A in Tampa. Anyways, her and her stupid Democrat Party supposedly survived an unexpected scare Tuesday night. Why would it be unexpected when people being raped, killed, knocked out, pushed in front of trains, mental illness running wild? Why would it be expected if somebody who's against that would have won? Shows you how insane. New Yorkers, I'm sorry. I lived there. You're smarter than that. That's why I believe it's rigged. As Hochul beat GOP challenger Lee Zeldin to become the Empire State's first bitch governor. I mean, lady governor. That must be Lee's face. What the hell? He's looking at a Jumbotron. Oh, God. But Hochul? Really? Hochul?
You're so stupid. You're so stupid. So fucking stupid.
Talking to New York voters. Hochul has been governor since August of 2021, when the resignation of Governor Andrew Cuomo caught finger popping his aide under a water fountain. Propelled the then lieutenant governor, she couldn't run a fucking lemonade, to the chief executive job with 64% of the votes counted. Hochul, who had been leading by as few as 4 percentage points in polls, was ahead of Zeldin by 10 points, 55-45. You gotta be. Here's the only good part, folks. I'm trying to be optimistic here, which, doesn't come easy. Let's say she wins in the end. If there's no shenanigans, she wins. The raping and murder and violence continues and gets worse. Then what do the Democrats do? How does that help them going forward for the 2024? New York is the biggest city and the crossroads to the world. And when it's an eyesore for America. Why am I talking like this? Let's do some dick jokes. New York is a heavily blue state, and the race was not on National Democrats' radar screen until early this fall, when Zeldin began to gain in opinion polls. The GOP congressman hammered away hard on the issue of crime, blaming Hochul for what he said was an increasingly unsafe city.
Raping me! This is rape! This is rape! This is rape!
That was Hochul trying to get a cab after the victory speech. When Hochul was still second in command to Andrew Cuomo, New York Democrats agreed to end cash bail. How'd that work out? In most cases in the state. The idea, advocated by criminal justice reform advocates and morons, is meant to stop a two-tier system where accused criminals with money can stay out of jail while poorer ones, regardless of whether they are guilty or innocent, remain behind bars until trial.
It's just so ridiculous.
How does that work out? I think we've had the answer. We tried it. How's it working out? Or does that not matter, as long as you guys got what you want? Zeldin pointed to cases where a person was released while awaiting trial and committed another crime. He vowed to kick that person right in the teeth. That's right, Tony Danza. What? Who put that? He vowed to declare a crime emergency in New York and suspend cash bail, which who would disagree with that? I want somebody on the street today talking to New Yorkers and say, do you believe the fix is in? You know, I want to hear the people look into a television camera, go, no, we like her. She's done a good job. That's all. I want to see 10 people say that. Hochul has called for reforms to tighten the rules, but faces opposition from the Democratic-led state legislature. Again, they like rape and victory. Well, that's, to the victor goes the spoils. Dallas, you got to watch The Sopranos with me, because I know it makes you laugh and you'll fucking cry. I'm saying that because of to the victor goes the spoils. That was the first time Tony Soprano met Bacala, Bobby, a big fat guy. They put a fat belt on him and make him look even more huge. But he comes in all shy and shit. And he goes, I understand, Tone. To the victor go to spoils. Tony looks at him and goes, stick that quote book up your fucking ass, you fat shit. Now get the fuck out. Anyways, that makes me laugh. Reminds me of my dad. Anyways, let's go to the Kemp victory speech. I didn't even bother pulling the story. All we know is Stacey Abrams. Honey, you and Beto O'Rourke, try getting a real job. Look, the Falcons need a fucking right tackle, right? If Miss Abrams could do that. Beto O'Rourke, I heard the Gap in Laredo needs a manager or somebody who's full sweaters. I don't know if you qualify for that either. You've never worked a day in your life, you dinkweed. Anyways, Mr. Kemp, I'm not crazy about this guy either, I'll be honest. If you remember all the shenanigans the last election, and this guy does a ton of shit with China. I looked into him. I can't remember any of it. But he's the lesser of two evils. I don't want to see Stacey Abrams' face again. She repulses me. Have we got any quotes from her today? Did she concede yet? Huh?
Yeah, she conceded last night.
No, I didn't say what she conceded. She did?
Yeah, she did. She conceded last night.
With no caveats?
None. People were asking her, which race are you conceding?
Is that right? That's a beautiful thing. Anyways, here's Billy Kemp. Jack Kemp.
But we also focused on how resilient Georgia's economy has been despite the disaster we're seeing in Washington, D.C. and across the country thanks to Joe Biden. But in Georgia...
Guy's got the magnetism of a doorknob.
But in Georgia... That's right. But in Georgia, we have record low unemployment. The most people ever working in the history of our state.
Okay, pause. Pause. Now, wait a minute. I live here in Georgia. How come every restaurant I go into, they're short-staffed? What are you talking about? You don't trust nobody, man. And why is Amy Schumer staring at him? In her fucking graduation gown. Okay, go ahead. Let him lie some more.
Historic investment in rural Georgia in the two largest job projects in state history
Jesus
were announced
Christ,
just
this guy
in the
sounds like a
last year.
blue-collar comic.
But this campaign
All right,
was
enough.
also...
Enough. Jesus H. What? I thought you had to have some charisma. Guy sounds like a Chevy dealer. Ford Tough. In Macon. Exactly. Again, Amy Schumer in love with him. Then they talked to, we do have some audio of, they talked to Miss Abrams to see how she felt after after her loss last night.
What folks says about this family, I does. I has told you and told you that she can always tell a lady but the way that she eat in front of folks like a bird. And I ain't aiming for you to go to Mr. John Wilkins's and eat like a field hand and gobble like a hog.
It's the same speech she gave last time. Holy shit, a truck just went by. And then they met after, I guess, and this is what Kemp said to Stacy to her face.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
I thought that was unnecessary. And then there was an Australian guy there.
You fat cat!
Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night. Late December back in 69 or 4. I don't know. Let's end it with a light story, one that makes me harder than a shark's tooth. My great crack. I said to Dallas last night, I said, just give me one story not related to Paolo, something a little light and fluffy. When this came in, I almost fell off the couch laughing. This was the best one you ever sent me. Again, it involves a young girl in a Spider-Man costume. Well, let me set this up. Apparently, she's a queef. You guys know. You gay guys don't know unless you call it something else. But a queef, that's when the air gets caught in the pussy and it sounds like a catalytic converter broke. No, it sounds like a pinhole in your muffler. It can be. It never bothered me. I felt bad for the girl when I did that. Because they get embarrassed. You guys, come on! I'll fart while I was banging a chick. You giggle. Shut up and get back on that thing. Spin around nice. Anyways, here's. Just watch it. I don't think it needs an explanation. But where's she from, by the way? Did we get that?
Here somewhere.
Huh?
America somewhere.
In America somewhere. Okay, go ahead. She queefs at her, but she's got a sense of humor about it. The way she used this, and I'll tell you a little story when I'm done watching it.
So I wanted to do a Spidey cosplay last night, but everybody's like, haha, waiting for the queef. So I made a video. What, do you guys want me to come in like this?
Yes!
Like, can I just post a thirst trap without being like, let one rip? Anyways.
Okay.
I love you for helping me to construct a life.
Oh my God.
Not a tavern, but a temple.
Oh.
I love you because you have done so much to make me happy.
Christy, get down on your knees so Sabrina can see your asshole.
I always wanted to know in those karate movies how they did the sound. I've told the story, I'm sure, on the show before. When I was about 3 or 4 years in comedy. No girlfriend at the time. It was great. Went to Schaumburg, Illinois, or one of those towns, and had a hell of a week, woman-wise. I was 14. I was all ripped and nice. Anyways, the girl, I met her. She cut my hair. I got a haircut that day. She came to the show. Me and a friend of hers go back to her hair cutting place. I told you, I'm under the dryer. I'm sitting in the seat. I don't have the dryer thing on, and she's blowing me. And her cute friend who's still dressed, is queefing to make me laugh. Like that, on demand. I'm like that, and it was like I was doing the Boston Pops. I'm like, the good old days, huh? Oh, my God. Sure, I came home with chlamydia. But it was worth it. Anyways, that's it, right? That's enough for today. That was a good show. So, again, I preface the whole show by I think everything's rigged, everything's scripted. But if you guys want to believe, got the House back. And the Senate, again, we don't know yet. I think we kind of do, because anytime it takes a long time to count, there's cheating going on by the Democrats. Even in Arizona, they wanted to extend the voting hours, and a judge shot it down because there were problems in Arizona. Carrie Lake and some people went to the liberal, because there were they were in a conservative part of town. There was problems with the computers. So she had a group of people go to the liberal side of town, and they were running beautifully. That's what she said on the thing. Sorry, I believe her. She's an anchor woman. She wouldn't lie. Anyways, that's it, folks. You guys think it, I'll say it. You're very welcome. See you back here tomorrow. Bye.
Hi, good night, everybody.